touched on something that I want to bring up and related to size. Why, in your opinion, haven't AEDs gotten smaller to this date? We're what, 20 some years removed, 24 years removed from the Forerunner. And, we're looking at devices that are even larger than the Forerunner that are still being produced or just coming out right now. And it's, what's your take on size related to AED use as well?
Well, I can't really, I would only speculate, and I don't know that that's valuable in terms of why they've gotten bigger. But my opinion is that smaller is still important. When I looked at the information on Elliott, and I think about the thrust, even the focus of your name, HeartHero, what I see is, I see two things. I see making the job of the people, again, I talked about duty to respond. So folks like EMTs or let's say a ski patrol person. Right now, your average, resorts that have AEDs typically deploy them from the ski patrol hut, sometimes with the toboggan, maybe not. Yeah. But the question that I have, which seems to be intriguing, is does Elliott provide the flexibility for each patrol person to just simply have one in their vest? That seems like, given the fact that we know that response time is so critical to treating a cardiac arrest, that if the patrol person is there a few minutes ahead of the toboggan, all the better. I mean, so those are the kinds of, and then the other side of it is that you take the non-duty to respond, the folks that have been intrigued and have purchased HeartStart home defibrillator, and I'm one of those. I have one in the house as well, and I also have one in the car. And in fact, my wife and I are heading off to a family cabin that's in a fairly remote part of Okanagan County, and I know one question she'll ask me is, do we have the AED? Thinking she's more likely to use it on me than me on her, but then we'll just go with that. I mean, but she's never been in the industry, and she understands and she gets it.
She cares.
She cares. So she obviously does. So think about what even a smaller package might do, particularly with durability and all the other things that make it happen. Might you have people who are inclined to want to do this anyway? Mm-hmm. Like for me, may I have one in my pack or in my parka when I ski, possibly? That's an intriguing element, I think, to the direction you're going with Elliott. And again, the form factor, the size, I think becomes an enabler for folks who may not see an AED in their midst every day. It's too much of a burden to carry one with them, other than perhaps in a car or something like that. All of a sudden make it maybe a little more of a personal device, if you will, or accessory, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That insight's great. That is part of our mission, is how do we make these things more portable so you can get them in places they're not, because as we know, it truly is speed to shock for that. So I think that's great. And, kind of off that, you just touched on it, is durability. Everything I've heard in my, 10 years in the industry has been the FR2 and FR1 are bomb-proof devices. It seems that, there is a device that has a little bit higher IP rating, but overall the durability IP ratings hasn't changed too much. What factor do you think durability plays into the market and being able to bring your device around?
So if you're talking about a public access setting, mm-hmm. say for instance where you have AEDs on every floor of an office building, to the extent that we're going to have office buildings anymore, I mean, I get the sense that maybe half the workforce may be working from home at some point, but we're still going to have shopping malls and theaters and restaurants, and I mean, the world isn't going to change dramatically. And in an environment like that, less rugged, if you will, form factor is okay. I mean, it'll be fine. It's going to be sitting on a wall. It's going to be deployed. It works. But again, if you think about the personal accessory aspect of an AED, it would seem to me like you'd want to have it be able to get knocked around pretty well. I think about what cell phones can do today. I mean, it helps to have a little plastic cover on them, which I do on mine, because I do tend to drop it from time to time. And It's never broken thanks to that. I know some, though, you occasionally see the screens that look just like a BB hit them. Generally speaking, I think these things, cell phones particularly, take quite a little bit of abuse, and they're ubiquitous. I mean, half the world's population or more has them, and it works. And so I think if you're going to change the landscape in terms of how many defibrillators, AEDs, are out there and potentially available to respond to a cardiac arrest, the durability aspect seems to be really, really critical. Durability and the small size, because it otherwise it's just too cumbersome to carry around.
Yeah, we totally agree, and that's been one of our missions. Our founder's background is from the CIA, and he's always saying that if I'm going to create a device and put it out there, I got to be able to put it in the tier 1 guys' hands and not get made fun of for it. So durability was very, very large for him in the importance of our devices.
Maybe putting it with special forces and Army Rangers and that kind of thing might be another aspect of it. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah. It's want to be able to bring it wherever they went and not have to worry about it. It's something that's very important on our list as well.